A very good afternoon and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Ogwa Vivian Onyedibia. We begin with a report from Kano State, where the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has enjoined state governments to complement the Buhari administration's move in addressing unemployment by creating job opportunities for teeming youth through skill acquisition programs in the country. The Vice President was speaking while launching a training program for artisans and technicians organized by the Kano State government. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
Tricycles are a popular means of transportation in Kano. It is also a source of livelihood to thousands of youth. This and high concentration of motor vehicles along the streets of the city created opportunities to roadside vulcanizers and mechanics. Against this background, Kano State government initiated a special training for the roadside vulcanizers and tricycle technicians. This is to add value to the trade and make their services more efficient. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who flagged off the training session, described it as laudable and worthy of emulation by other state governments. He commended Governor Ganduje for the initiative, which he said is in line with President Buhari's agenda of making the Nigerian youth more productive.
It's very clear that what he has in mind is a plan that will help the future, not just the future of Kano State, but the future of Nigeria.
The idea of the program, Governor Ganduje stated, is to improve the skills of the beneficiaries, thereby opening up more opportunities for unemployed youth.
And at the end of the training, we give them tools so that they can do their profession in a more professional way.
The empowerment program is an initiative of the Office of the Special Advisor to Kano State Governor on Automobile Services. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The federal government is not taking it easy with contractors who fail to engage a sizable number of Nigerians in the execution of its ongoing projects across the country. Minister of State to Power Works and Housing Suleiman Hassan Zarma reiterated this when he requested for more indigenous workers to be employed at the construction site of the Federal Secretariat Complex in Ado-Ekiti in order to create jobs and fast-track its completion.
Ekiti State was the first port of call as the Minister of State too for Power Works and Housing, Suleiman Zarma, leads other officials of the ministry to inspect projects in the southwest. One of the projects visited is this ongoing construction of Federal Secretariat, awarded by the Buhari administration in 2017. Sitting on 5 hectares of land, the building has a total space area of 3,000 square meters. On completion, it is expected to accommodate all the ministries, departments and agencies in the state. But the level of work done here is put at 20%, falling behind expectations. The same tales of delay greeted the team in Osun State, where the minister, however, attributed the situation to geological structure of the area and few hands on the job.
We are working on timeline and on budget. The good thing is that we are not owing. One other good thing is that you can see he has mobilized a lot of equipment. What needs to be mobilized more now is the number of persons to put their hands on this project.
I can give reassurance that we are working round the clock to ensure that we have this done, achieved in terms of the timeline.
At the housing sites in both states, the minister made a case for the physically challenged persons to be considered in the condominium buildings and commended the team in Osun for doing a good job. Other projects inspected in Osun included rehabilitation of Oshogbo-Ilesha Road, dualization of Bogon-Akoda Road, and Chief Abdul Karim Adebisi Akonde Trumpet Bridge. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonisaki, says it is high time Nigeria had a unified veteran body that would tap the abundant human resources of ex-servicemen, improve their lot and contributions to national security and development. This was at a 3-day workshop on the unification of Veterans Association in Nigeria. Olajide Bello tells us more.
1, 2, 3, go! The Nigerian Armed Forces as an institution do not only concern itself with defending the territorial integrity of the nation, but also contributes to the maintenance of international peace and security. As a self-renewing institution, the Armed Forces continues to retire and discharge some of its best in accordance with the terms and conditions of service. Therefore, the workshop is to identify areas of differences and fashion out ways of concentrating efforts and uniting the veterans organization to be more formidable.
It is our desire to see the emergence of a single unified body for effective management and administration of all military veterans by putting in place a robust and very effective system for veteran administration.
What is the take of veterans on this development?
Together to form a formidable force and a focus so that they can channel all their experiences to the benefit of the veterans.
At the end of this conference, we will be able to produce something of policy nature that can ensure that the welfare of veterans can be better addressed.
The workshop, which is the first of its kind, has as its theme Unification of Veterans Association in Nigeria, a panacea for building a vibrant Veterans Association. From the Nigerian Army Resource Center in Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
And to ensure transparency and credibility in the recruitment process into the Nigerian police force, the Police Service Commission engaged the Joint Admission Matriculation Board to conduct a computer-based test for applicants. Well, the exercise, which took place this Friday, monitored by JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede and Assistant Inspector General of Police Istifanus Shetima. Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju tells us more.
The nationwide exercise had 37,062 candidates writing the examination in 156 centers. The computer-based test for the police job seekers is coming after a physical and credentials screening.
Maintain standard in the Nigerian police force. That is why we know JOM has been very, very excellent in terms of conducting exams. We get the excellent people to join the police force.
We want to do something that is not that transparent. JAMB is not the right place to go. But if you know that you want to set the rule and you want the rules to be enforced and transparently so, the JAMB will give you the services.
Police is the 16th agency to engage JAMB to conduct tests for their candidates in recent time. Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju, NTA News.
And away from that, the National Assembly says it will give the necessary support to any African country to make laws that will sustain democracy on the continent. Well, this came to the fore when the Joint Committee on Public Account of the Liberian Parliament visited the National Assembly. John Yaku has details.
Liberia is one of the nascent democracies in Africa that needs every support to survive. This is why members of its parliament are in Nigeria to share legislative experience, particularly in the area of public account, as part of efforts towards good governance. The delegation visited the office of the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, Senate Leader Ahmed Lawan, and Chairman Senate Committee on Finance, John Eno.
Institutions are strong, democracy itself will be very strong.
And sometimes maybe too hard, and because most of the people that will come would assume so many things about parliamentarians.
So in the course of this oversight, we're also able to monitor whether the actual revenue estimates and assumptions are actually met or not.
Chairman Public Account Committee of the Liberia Parliament, Senator Henry Yala, says their visit is to borrow a leaf from the successes of the Nigerian legislature.
I had the opportunity to have heard from one of the senators that served in the House of Representatives on almost all of the committees in the financial sector for several years. I think it was worth learning. It's something that we must learn from.
Okay. To continue to see how the two parliaments would now establish an enduring relationship.
The delegation comprised 11 parliamentarians and 3 technical staff of the Secretariat. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
And Jennifer is in our Lagos studios with more stories on Nationwide from that zone. It's over to you now, Jennifer.
Ogwa, glad to have you join us in Lagos. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, says the Lagos-Ibadan railway project is expected to be completed by December this year. He stated this while inspecting the rail projects in Lagos and Ogun states. Dotun Ogunyemi was on the tour.
The 152.59-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan railway project is one of the Nigeria Railways modernized projects aimed at reducing the travel time between Lagos and Ibadan. With the expectation of the project to be completed before the end of the year, the minister is urging the contractors to commence work on the Lagos end from Iju to Apapa Port to fast-track it.
At the next meeting on the 28th, 2 bridges should have they should have been completed in terms of laying of the beams. Two bridges are said, and then about 11 kilometers of track laying should have been completed. So we are progressing, and the next meeting will take place at Ibadan. So we can also assess what we've done from Abuja to Ibadan.
When completed and operational, the rail project is expected to reduce the number of heavy-duty trucks and containers plying the highways.
It will benefit the owners, the trailer owners, because they don't need to flog their trailers from Sokoto to Lagos. They can come to the railhead and move their loads because we are going to be working together. That's what we call it, our model.
Major issues hindering the project have been the Nigerian Army Ordnance Corps and the gas and water pipelines which are on the route. The minister said these will have to give way, adding that the Lagos state government has cooperated so far to ensure the project is completed in due time. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
Stakeholders in aquaculture and fisheries have evolved strategies for the amendment of a framework that will enable Nigeria benefit from the vast wealth inherent in the exploitation of shrimp resources. At a validation workshop on fisheries improvement projects in Lagos, it was agreed that the eradication of unregulated fishing and harmonization of standards are crucial to improving the sector. Michael Olaleye reports.
Stakeholders say exportation of shrimps from the country to Europe and the United States, valued at $70 to $80 million, is a shortfall from the potentials in the fishery sector. They argue that over-exploitation of Nigerians' waterways through illegal and unregulated fishing are responsible for the decline. The focus of this workshop, therefore, is to adopt a program of action that will unlock the potentials.
You have to survey to know how much shrimp you have. Second is to have observers on board of vessels because data is critical.
To try to improve standards in fisheries processing and trade, to increase the benefits from improved marketing of our products, to reduce the waste and loss.
Nigeria, presently battling with consumption deficit of over 1.1 million metric tons, believe harmonizing standards will stimulate participation.
People in the European market who are willing to pay a premium price for products and services that are certified.
Implementing the plan for profitability, they agreed, must be done with increased maritime security and budget proposal.
Also looking into providing vessel monitoring system to enable us to monitor the activities of the fishing operators at sea in our offices.
The proposed fishery implementation plan, which spans 4 years, is expected to gulp over $1.1 million US. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Decisions taken by the Lagos State government to intervene in the ongoing health workers' strike must conform with existing laws, international best practices, and should be in the interest of the patients. Chairman Medical Guild, Dr. Babajide Saheed, stated this in a media briefing in Lagos. Joy Ken Abakpoya reports that the body is an affiliate of the Nigerian Medical Association, Lagos State branch.
For over 1 month now, the Joint Health Sector Unions, JOHESU, has been on strike to draw government's attention to issues ranging from welfare to conditions of service. This has led to the partial crippling of activities in many government-owned hospitals. To address the situation and give patients a relief, the Lagos State government stepped in with possible solutions to the issues raised by the state health workers, and the circular was released to that effect. These solutions included the creation of consultant pharmacist cadre and the enhancement of career progression in the state civil service. This decision is, however, being met with stiff opposition from the Medical Guild, an association of Lagos State government-employed medical doctors.
The appointment/converment of other cadre of staff to the category of director within the hospital setting will lead to chaos and anarchy in the health system.
Our point has been that before such circular should be released, what we would have expected is a roundtable discussion. You can't listen to one group because we are more concerned about patient care. We are more concerned about healthcare delivery.
Another issue raised by these medical practitioners is the appointment of a non-medical and dental doctor as a permanent secretary of the State Health Service Commission.
We are appealing to the governor to review it and do the needful.
The group is urging the Lagos State government to withdraw the already released circular and come up with other solutions to the JOHESU strike. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakpoya, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos at this hour. Back to Ogwa in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Jennifer. Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank PLC has declared a profit before tax of more than 260 million naira for the 2017 financial year. Well, this was made known at the bank's annual general meeting in Abuja. Musa Abubakar reports.
If approved, the total dividend paid to shareholder for the financial year ended will be 33,409,000.
Just the right news shareholders expected to hear, especially after the difficult economic and operating environment in 2017. The remarkable studies of the bank showed that gross earnings grew by 2.5% from 861 million naira in 2016 to 883 million naira in 2017, just like the total assets, which grew to 8.1 billion naira. The final dividend of 2 kobo for every ordinary share held, representing 50% of the profit after tax, was proposed and approved.
This is the 12th time we declare dividends in the last 12 years. So every year we ensure that we increase our shareholders' wealth and again delight our smaller shareholders that are always interested in dividend by giving them dividend. No matter how small it is, we are doing that.
Some banks or some companies are not able to declare dividend due to the challenges in the economy. So for us to even get a dividend is something we appreciate.
We are very happy today for the dividend of 2 kobo, which the company is giving us, and equally they are giving 7 kobo to preference shareholders.
The feat attained by the bank did not stop at just clapping, hugging and smiles. The management and shareholders later had a good time where they munched and gulped. There was no better time to unveil the bank's new logo and magazine than at such an event to celebrate its rising profile. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
And away from that, the federal government says it is committed to making life more meaningful for every Nigerian through the execution of ecological intervention projects across the 6 geopolitical zones. Joseph Johnson reports that the Minister of State 2 for Power Works and Housing, Suleiman Hassan Zama, was at Odo Alamo Ogbomosho in Oyo State, where he inaugurated and handed over the erosion control project to benefiting communities.
These communities that have suffered the pangs of incessant erosion for nearly 4 decades have every reason to celebrate. It has been a long wait leading to this moment that has restored lost hopes.
During the rainy season, when the flood comes, it actually eroded our children, even not only the children, adults even self, eroded them away. But now we have a sound sleep that we never had before.
Erosion is claimed many lives that I cannot mention.
The project, executed by the federal government through the Ecological Fund Office in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, was awarded in April 2017 and completed in December same year, following the approval of the Federal Executive Council.
This is a promise kept, a promise delivered, a departure from what we used to have in the past. When the senator brought this project here, the people said it will not happen because they are so used to abandon projects, but the narrative has changed now.
They promised us 10 months, they finished in 9 months. It is something that we will forever remain grateful to President Muhammadu Buhari.
The message to the benefiting communities is, do the needful by not misusing the 1.4 billion naira project through filling the drainage channels with debris that could lead to another flooding or erosion tales. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to addressing ecological problems confronting various communities across the country, promising that no part of the country will suffer any neglect owing to the geographical location or political consideration. He stated this in a message sent to the inauguration and handing over of the erosion and flood control works executed by the Ecological Fund Office at Miango, Basa local government area. Abdulwahab Babakanti has more.
The project, which is one of the 26 ecological intervention projects approved by the President for the second quarter of 2017, was awarded by the Federal Executive Council and executed through the Ecological Fund Office. The President, represented by the Minister of State, Niger Delta Affairs, Professor Damilola Claudius Omoleye, said erosion and floods have been major concerns in some communities in the country, necessitating the intervention.
Critical moment of our nation building and economic recovery, there is no doubt that the project will provide ample opportunities to the community.
Also, the Permanent Secretary of Ecological Fund Office, represented by the Director, Pollution Control, explained the risks associated with flooding and employed the communities to maintain the project to ensure its sustainability. While appreciating the federal government for certain of the project in the state, Plateau State Governor Simon Bakolalan asked the people to work for peace as no meaningful development can be achieved in conflict-prone zones.
The federal government is already doing very well to engage the youth. Plateau State is doing very well to engage the youth. I said for time, if we have peace, I am not sure any youth will go without a job in the next 2 years.
From Miongo in Basa local government area, Abdullah Babankanti, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, this is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We now pause for some messages. The news returns shortly.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Non-governmental organizations, popularly called NGOs, have helped immensely to bring help to those who need them in the society.
God bless you wherever you are.
NGOs deserve some accolade and really should be applauded.
I congratulate your NGO for championing this cause.
But as they say, too many cooks spoil the broth.
You don't just wake up and decide to start an NGO. It doesn't work like that.
The high rate of proliferation of NGOs has made it a tool of greed and also ineffective.
I found the money-making machine.
Especially as the aim of many NGO founders these days is to enrich their purses. Join your rib-cracking comedy, Professor John Bull, this week in the episode titled NGO.
Gosh, you're a very nice person now. Are you sure 30% will be enough for you?
I am 70, you're 30, bro.
Ha! Come back there. Are you using size to share the money?
Over and
brought to you by Glow.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Thank you for staying tuned. Edo State government donates armored personnel carrier to the police. Let's join Obey in Benin for details.
Thank you, Ogwa. Welcome to Benin. Edo State government has donated a special armored personnel carrier to the State Police Command. Goodluck Enaine reports that it is ahead of the official launch of the state's new security architecture.
Security is key in the economic advancement of the people. This is why the state government is leaving no stone unturned in ensuring that the state is adequately secured. The provision of this armored personnel carrier by the state government is a further indication of the determination of the state government in this regard.
We hope that exactly a month from today we'll be able to launch the new security architecture, which will involve equipment like armored personnel carriers, will involve vehicles, security devices, trained, personnel.
The Commissioner of Police, Johnson Kokomo, said the provision of the fleet would boost the morale of his men.
More than ever before, to fight crime and criminals on the land, and that, of course, is the more reason why the state government has embarked on the procurement of vehicles to fight criminals on the land, procurement of gunboats to fight criminals on the waters and, of course, on the creeks.
The provision of the armored personnel carrier is part of the state government promises to support the police. In Benin, I am Goodluck Enaine, NTA News.
Some Libya returnees have been exposed to the rudiment of business and its principle to make them self-reliant. This is courtesy of the European Union in collaboration with the International Organization for Migration, Initiative for Migration. Yvier Amori reports.
The old practice of Nigerian youths going through the Mediterranean in the quest of greener pastures has been a source of concern to many. In the process of actualizing these greener pastures, lives have been lost. For some who couldn't get through and have been returned home, their plight oftentimes is usually something to worry about. This is why the International Organization for Migration is training Nigerian returnees. This is the 13th in the series of such.
We found that a lot of people have been equipped vocationally, but they don't have this mindset of starting up the business or what to do, how to go about the business. So we are teaching them how to choose the best options in business.
The returnees had the opportunity to ask questions and were taken through mindset resetting and psychosocial first aid.
I'm expecting them to, just as they have said, to really help us to acquire our skills.
With this opportunity, so we'll be able to make use of it and to benefit from it. I believe it's going to be a great idea.
The 110 participants will be shared into different business groups to aid understanding, and a starter pack will be given to each of them to help them start up their chosen business. In Benin, I am Ivie Omoyi, NTA News.
NTA Benin Network Center has organized a pre-Children's Day seminar where children were taught the dangers associated with the use of illicit drugs and the negative influence of peer pressure. Ifoma Okafo reports that it is a maiden edition.
May 27th every year is dedicated to celebrate children. To make this year's celebration worthwhile, the Nigerian Television Authority NTA Benin Network Center has thought outside the box by bringing together children of school age to educate, inform, and sensitize them on the menace of illicit drugs, which findings reveal could be necessitated by peer pressure.
Beyond school matches, dancing, we should educate the children, because we also discovered that the children are quite knowledgeable.
The theme of this year's Pre-Children Day seminar is countering negative peer pressure, effect on use of drugs and substances among secondary school children.
Even the commonly used drugs now, codeine and all that, they make you feel they have a lot of adverse effects that destroy the body and especially the mental health of the person.
You see them doing things they would ordinarily not do. Giving them assignments that they should go back to their schools and try to form positive pressure group.
Parents should please wake up to our responsibility of bringing up our children with good values.
It leads to early deaths. It leads to stroke, cancer. It makes some of our young boys of nowadays to become sick.
I learned that we should not abuse drugs, that drugs can ruin our future aim.
The event also featured drama presentation by NTA Benin drama crew, interactive session, and cultural displays by the children. In Benin, Ifoma Okafo, NTA News.
State distribution of PVC commences in Borno. Naomi in Maiduguri brings us details and other reports.
And welcome to Maiduguri. The newly elected Borno State executive members of the All Progressives Congress have been sworn in with a call on them to carry everyone along for the victory of the party. The session, attended by APC party stakeholders in the state, pledged continued support to the President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government. Jesse Tafida reports.
Governor Kashim Shettima thanked the Congress Organizing Committee for a transparent and rancor-free election, noting that the sacrifice of Ali Bukar Dalori and his team is highly commendable. The governor urged to unite for the victory of the APC, as the party will ensure participation of all members in the scheme of affairs.
There is no any location where the Congress was conducted in an atmosphere of tranquility, peace, and unanimity as it was conducted here.
Senator representing Southern Borno, Muhammad Ali Ndumi, called for unity of purpose and loyalty to the leadership of Governor Kashim Shettima. Chairman Local Congress Organizing Committee Barrister Mohammed Tahir Monguno said the committee is given ample time for appeal, but none came, hence the inauguration of the elected executives. Newly elected chairman of the APC in the state, Ali Bukar Dalori, thanked Governor Kashim Shettima and party delegates for their support, pledging to take the party to greater height. In Maiduguri, I am Jesse Tafida, NTA News.
Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC Borno State, is set to commence distribution of more than 174,000 permanent voters' cards PVC from registration done in 2017. Resident Electoral Commissioner INEC Borno State Muhammad Magaji Ibrahim says despite the security challenges, the ongoing voter registration exercise continued with the support of the military. Muhammad Ibrahim reports.
INEC Borno State says it has put a lot of logistics and personnel in place to cover the state in the ongoing voter registration exercise due to the security challenges. The resident electoral commissioner cited that in spite of 4 hard-to-reach local government areas of Abadam, Kala Balge, Guzamala and Marte, the commission airlifted personnel in collaboration with the Nigerian Air Force to ensure they are not disenfranchised.
The commission in Borno State have received
the permanent voters card for the 2017 only.
Mohamed Magaji maintained that a total of 48 registration centers were earmarked for the voter registration in IDP camps to cater for the displaced. The Commission in Borno State disclosed that it registered a total of 207,016 eligible voters for the 2017 voter registration exercise. The highest PVCs per local government ready for collection in designated registration centers are for Biu and Haul, which have more than 12,000, followed by Askira Uba and MMC with about 11,000. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
Healthcare delivery services have resumed in hospitals across Borno State following the relaxation of strike action embarked upon by the state wing of the Joint Health Sector Union, JAHESU. Yagum Subakar, who visited some government hospitals in Maiduguri, reports that health workers are back to their duty posts.
It could be recalled that the state chapter of JAHESU had a week ago joined its mother body to embark on strike action, which led to the collapse of services in state hospitals and therefore increasing hardship on citizens seeking medical attention. A visit to public health institutions in the state indicated compliance of the relaxation of the strike, as medical health workers were seen carrying out their legitimate duties. On the first day of resumption of work, outpatient departments, laboratories, specialized units, and wards have been receiving new patients. Borno State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Haruna Michelia, said Governor Kashim Shettima constituted a high-powered committee to meet up with members of JAHESU in order to find a lasting solution to the strike.
When they went on strike, they had about 9 demands, and at the end of 2 days' discussion, we discovered that 8 out of the 9 demands have actually been met by the government. At the end of the agreement, the relaxation, which should be for at least 1 month, will enable the government continue to talk about the issue of the remaining 10%.
He further said that during the period of the strike, Governor Kashim Shettima directed that student nurses be involved in the provision of healthcare services in hospitals. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subakar, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Maiduguri. Is back to Ogwa in Abuja. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Naomi. Thank you. The flood and erosion work at Amachara in Umuahia South local government area of Abia State, initiated by the federal government through the Ecological Fund Office, has been commissioned. A Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Henekin Lukobiri, said the effort is part of the federal government's determination to provide effective intervention to address erosion problems across communities in the country. Dennis Temple reports.
Commission this project for the benefit of the people of this community, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Described by the consultant as a sharp departure from what was seen before the reclamation, the minister explained that the project is one of the 26 ecological intervention projects approved by President Muhammadu Buhari in the first quarter of 2017 as approved by the Federal Executive Council. He said the project will not only enhance the living standard of the people, but will as well check the risk of lives and properties associated with erosion and persistent flooding.
From time to time, the President, based on availability of funds, gives approval, to tackle some of the ecological problems from time to time. But at this material time, in 2017, among the thousands of ecological problems that we had in the country, Abia was the only state that had 2.
The Abia State Governor, as well as the member representing Ikwe Federal Constituency, commended the federal government for the laudable initiatives and urged them to extend the gesture to other parts of the state that is affected by gully erosion.
These 2 projects were massive ecological interventions that cost the federal government over 700 million naira.
Mr. President, sir, I'd like to let you know from the base of knowledge and competence that it is the ecological stress that our state is going through not out of our wish, but out of natural disasters.
The scope of the project, according to the consultant, is to ensure that the erosion site, stretching about 40 meters depth and 20 meters circumference, is sufficiently addressed to give the community a lease of life. The community was assured that the erosion control will stand the test of time. In Umuahe, Dennis Temple, NTA News.
And it's time for another break now. Nationwide continues shortly. Do stay tuned.
NTA Television College Jos admission forms for diploma program in film and television production, television engineering technology, broadcast journalism, and degree programs in mass communication, television journalism, and mass communication television production is now on sale. The sale of forms will commence 14th May and run to 13th August 2018 at the cost of 7,500 Naira only per form, payable through the remitter platform in favor of NTA Television College Jos. Forms can be obtained from all marketing offices in NTA State Capital Stations, zonal centers, Training Directorate of the NTA Headquarters Abuja, and the Office of the Academic Secretary of the NTA Television College. Applicants are required to possess 5 credits in GCE, SSCE in relevant areas of study, including English and mathematics, in not more than 2 sittings. All completed forms attached with photocopies of credentials must be submitted on or before the 13th of August 2018 to the stations where the forms were obtained. For further inquiries, please contact the Office of the Academic Secretary on these numbers. Announcer, Registrar.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three put
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was
welcome. You take that one. Yeah, take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mobu to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Get the latest news and updates from across Nigeria on NTA Nationwide. NTA Nationwide. Weekdays by 4 p.m. Get it first. Get it fresh.
Nationwide continues now. Soccer has come the way of victims of the inferno that raised the Etsu Musa market in Bida, Niger State, as the Bida Emirate Council disbursed more than 30 million naira to them to cushion the effect of the disaster. In a remark during the disbursement of the fund at Wadata Palace, Bida, Niger State, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello advised the victims not to see the disaster as the end of the world. Jones Ajayi reports.
The Etsu Musa Market Bida, popularly known as Old Market, was razed by fire on the 1st of March this year. This prompted the Etunupe and Chairman Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, Alhaji Yaya Abubakar, to constitute a fundraising committee under the chairmanship of a retired Chief Judge of Niger State, Justice Jibrin Ndajiwo. Speaking at the disbursement of the funds realized so far by the committee, Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, represented by the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Haliru Zakari Jikantoro, said arrangements are on for the State Emergency Management Agency to come up with other relief materials for the victims. In his remarks, Etu Yaya Abubakar thanked Almighty Allah that no life was lost in the inferno. He said the fundraising committee has been able to raise more than 30 million naira so far.
We now believe in BOT, build, operate and transfer. Where we are now throwing it to the market of people who have their money to come and do the work, build the market, operate it, and then get their money back.
I say thank you to them for remembering me.
When the time disaster come, we think everything don't lose be that.
God bless all of them.
The estimate of the total loss put together by various groups in the market is about 300 million naira. In Bidda, Jones Ajayi, NTA News.
The Nigerian Union of Journalists NTA chapter has commended the NTA management for their prompt response on recent procurement of new buses to cushion the challenge of transportation faced by the staff. The chapter chairman, Mr. Gabriel Odu, also thanked the NTA management for ensuring successful elections and inauguration while appealing for a better package for staff. The representative of the Director General, Ayo Adewi, commended the union and assured them of management's commitment to boost facilities that will ensure an enabling environment at the workplace. He added that management is still in talks with the federal government on better pay package for staff.
I'm glad that we talked about capacity building for staff. Management on this part, especially news management, I can assure you that that is part of our top priorities, capacity building.
Management has been up to speed, ensuring that staff have a conducive working environment. I commend them that, I commend their effort, and I wanted to also spread, not just in the headquarters across, let it spread across all NTA stations. Trade unionism is not about fighting and quarreling and protest and all that. It is strategic, harmonious working relationship.
Of dues for the NUJ NTA chapter, Ayo Adewi urged the union to be more proactive in sensitization of members on the importance of the union. And Uche Ngwizu now brings us up to speed with stories making the rounds across the globe.
Hello there. Our curtain raiser on this package is on North Korea, which says it is still ready for talks after U.S. President Donald Trump abruptly cancelled a June 12 summit with Kim Jong-un over what he called Pyongyang's tremendous anger and open hostility. The country's Vice Foreign Minister Kim Guam said on Friday that Pyongyang remains open to resolving issues with Washington at any time in any way. Guam said Trump's decision shows how grave North Korea-U.S. relations is and how urgently a summit should be realized to improve ties. As part of efforts to fight insurgency, Indonesia's parliament has approved a controversial anti-terror law that grants the military direct involvement in counter-terror operations and internal security. Following a series of bombings, the new legislation includes a clause that states combating terrorism is part of military's operations, but that it can only get involved after a request from the police and with presidential approval. Finally, on health, the World Health Organization has passed a resolution recognizing snake bites as a global health priority. The WHO says complications from snake bites remain one of the most neglected tropical diseases. The resolution is aimed at ensuring countries follow a common strategy, such as providing cheaper antidotes and training in dealing with snake attacks. That does it from here. I am Uche Ngwizu. Thanks for being there.
Thanks, Uche. Now, the video assistant referee, VAR, is our focus on today's World Cup countdown with sports correspondent Ayodeji Makinde.
On our countdown today, we examine the essential facts about one innovation set to be used at the FIFA World Cup for the first time